Welcome to MCN. Now, before we talk about BMW's new £19,480 M1000R, we need to talk a little bit about the S1000R first. So the S1000R second generation bike came out in 2021, last year, and for many it slipped under the radar because of the amount of power it made. So despite the fact the S1000R is based on the Gen 4 S1000RR, and as such it's a brilliant bike in terms of handling, electronics, equipment and power, the claim power figure is only 163 bhp. Now when you compare that to a lot of the super naked rivals, it makes it one of the least powerful of all the competition, especially when you look at bikes like the Ducati Street Fighter V4S and the MV Agusta Brutale 1000RR. They make over 200 bhp. So the little BMW S1000R hasn't really got the pub bragging rights, but precisely because it's got 163 bhp, the S1000R is a superb road bike. I mean, 163 bhp was the thing of superbikes of the noughties anyway. So it's got a lot of power. It hasn't got the shift cam engine in it. So the tuning of the engine is just all about sort of mid-range really, with a little bit of top, nice smooth spread of power, easy to access, smooth, fantastic riding position, brilliant handling, heated grips, cruise control. So that bike in S1000R Sport trim with all the bells and whistles and electronic suspension is pretty damn good. And to be honest, it doesn't need any more. But that said, BMW have decided to join the 200 bhp race anyway with this new M1000R, which is their second M bike after the M1000RR. So the M1000R is based on the S1000R Sport. That's how it starts, kind of fully loaded with electronic suspension. But the big difference is the engine. So BMW have slotted in the S1000RR 2023 Superbike engine, completely intact. They haven't messed about with it at all. So it's got shift cam, it's got 207 bhp, which is actually up on the previous generation S1000RR's 204. The only change to it, what you'll find in the Superbike, is that the gearing is slightly shorter by one tooth. But the most amazing thing about the M1000R, and the thing that no other 200 horsepower Superbike or Super Naked has managed to do, is to be usable at normal speeds. So if you're on a Fireblade or Panigale V4, Street Fighter V4, Brutale 1000RR, all the good stuff is right at high revs, way beyond road speeds. So you need a racetrack to really, get the best of what they've got. And anything below that, I mean, they're okay. They've got a lot of power. They're pretty tractable engines, but you'd have more fun on a less powerful bike. You'd have more instant grunt. It would be more engaging. Whereas the shift cam on the M1000R is its saviour. So what it allows the engine to do, as we all know about shift cam, variable valve timing on the inlet. At low revs, you've got kind of mild cams for low down torque, and then at high revs they change the inlet cam slots across the top of the engine, changes to high lift cams, and then you've got explosive power. That transition from low to high power is, you can't feel it at all because the bike's so fast. It's just one massive smash in the stomach of acceleration, and that change happens at 9,000 RPM or when the engine's really under load. So at road speeds, the M1000R is very friendly, it's very tractable, but it doesn't really feel any different to the S1000R, the engine anyway. So riding on the road, you may as well just have the S1000R. We got to do a couple of laps around our Maria circuit on this bike, literally a handful of laps. And when you're in a position to really open it up, it feels like a superbike, which obviously it is. And when you feel the superbike power, the impressive stuff comes in 4th, 5th and 6th. In the first 3 gears, even a bike with 163 horsepower will just wheelie. There's only so much power you can use. But in the higher gears, the M1000R just absolutely goes. It's phenomenal. Sounds amazing when it's on song, but you might be able to say that the character of the engine is not like a cross-plane 4 or a V4 or a V-twin or a triple. So it's kind of a little bit, it doesn't give you the same kind of wow factor as some of its rivals, but the way the engine works, how tractable it is really impressive. Still a tiny bit buzzy when you start an S1000RR or this M1000R. It sounds a bit clattery when you first start it. Soon smooths out, but there is a little bit of a resonance through the bars, which affects some people more than others. Some people it sends their hands to sleep. It doesn't mind personally, but it's kind of there. The other thing the M1000R has got, that the S1000R hasn't, are wings. So they're designed to pin the front down under acceleration at high speed, give them more stability under braking, push the front in through corners. On the road, you just never know wings are there. They'd only really come into their own on the track. I mean, one thing you do notice with wings is that bikes with wings are hard to steer when you're wheeling. So when you're wheeling a normal bike, you can kind of get it up, you can steer it by crossing the bars and moving your weight around. Nakeds with wings or bikes with wings just stay solid. It's hard to steer them. Not a problem you're going to have on the public road, obviously. So the actual ride of the M1000R, the character of it is very similar to the S1000R. It's the same chassis, it's the same suspension, electronic suspension. It comes with forged alley lightweight wheels, so the turning's slightly better. But the main difference you feel is the fact the suspension settings are a bit tougher. So the fork springs are harder, there's more compression damping, so it is a firmer ride, which it needs if you're going to go really quick and around a racetrack, and maybe to support it under the downforce of the wings perhaps. But within all the riding modes, you can set the suspension hard or soft anyway, so you can get the ride and the support you want out of the suspension, so there's no problems there. The only thing that really detracts from the riding experience during the launch were the tyres. So it comes on Bridgestone RS11 tyres. They're very fast road sporty tyres. When they're up to temperature they're fine, but on the cold roads that we were riding on, they never really came up to temperature. So it kind of detracted from the riding experience a little bit. It's not going to be a problem in the summer, but maybe if you were going to buy this bike and use it in the cold, you might want slightly more appropriate tyres. But once they're up to speed, they don't lack any grip, they've got lots of confidence. But yeah, just take a little too long to warm up. The M1000R also runs on different front brake calipers. So the S1000R's got Hayes calipers, BMW branded calipers, and the M1000R has got Nissan 4-piston monoblocks. They are an improvement over the Hayes. They've got more power, more feel. To be honest, the Hayes brakes are fine. They just feel a little bit racier through the lever. In terms of electronics, the M1000R has got it all. It's got traction control, wheelie control, launch control, engine braking control, up and down quick shifter, really nice colour dash, still the best in the business, which you can link your phone to for playing music and sat nav. And it's also got a new slide control function to help you back it into corners. But again, on this road ride, we didn't really get a chance to use it. So as well as the more powerful engine, the wings, the firmer suspension, the M1000R also comes with a load of goodies. You get an Akropovich end can, an M endurance chain, milled alley handlebar clamps, wider bars for a bit more leverage, bar end mirrors, billet aluminium levers, a belly pan, a lightweight lithium battery, small number plate holder and keyless ignition. In terms of value for money, well, this is a top-end Super Naked. It's more expensive than all of its rivals, except for the Ducati Street Fighter V4S and MV Brutale RR. It's also a fair chunk more than a base model S1000R, which costs £12,855, or the S1000R Sport, which costs £14,735. So the M1000R is the bike that a lot of people wanted BMW to build in the first place. This is what the S1000R should have been for many people. So if you're going to ride your BMW Super Naked purely on the road, I would say the S1000R Sport is still the one to go for. It's cheaper, it's got more than enough power, it's softer, a little bit more tractable. It's just a very, very good all-round Super Naked, and who cares what power it makes, because it's a fantastic bike, albeit lacking a little bit of character compared to some of its rivals. But if you want the ultimate BMW Super Naked, you want the M badge, you want the bragging rights of having a 200 bhp engine, and a bike that can properly use that 200 bhp engine in all conditions, and you've got deep enough pockets, then the M1000R is the bike for you.